Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if you are new. We are back to watch another episode of Loki. This is Season 2, Episode 4. It is called Heart of the TVA. Last episode, we were back in the past and we met Victor Timely, aka a variant of Kang. We rescued him from Renslayer and took him to the TVA. Sylvie thought about killing him and then realized, he's essentially in the same position she was back in the day, trying to make his own decisions, trying to live his own life. And she decides not to kill him. And then she kicks Renslayer into the end of time, essentially. And we learn there's a secret about Renslayer, and then Loki and Mobius and Victor Timely, they go to the TVA. And so that seemingly is where we're going to pick up. Right, because they need his like temporal aura or DNA or whatever to interact or unlock the loom so that they can change it and upgrade it, so that it can handle more timelines at the same time, and hopefully that is gonna go smoothly. Probably won't, but who knows? But either way, I am excited to find out. So before we jump into this, if you end up enjoying my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me, helps my channel grow. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon or via YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. And those are both linked in the description down below. But other than that, let's jump into another episode of Loki. All right, here we go. Okay. Interesting start. This is He Who Remains' his castle, yeah.
There's something you have to see.
You guys used to be in love.
For all time.
Always.
Always.
Ravelna Renslayer, you are quite a marvel.
Is this the recording that Loki heard?
The TVA awaits our commands. Shall we go?
No, he's gonna stay here.
Hey, boss. Fancy a game of chess?
Wipe Renslayer's mind.
Is it time?
Erase her memories.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's a fat rip in the chat for Renslayer.
It was you who commanded the army.
So he built this little tower.
You were his right-hand lady.
We don't need him. Maybe we never did.
I guess we'll find out. Interesting that Mobius and Loki didn't come through the same door.
Stop!
It's okay. It's all right.
What do you want with me?
We need your body.
Come with us. And we'll show you.
That didn't sound as reassuring as you hoped it would. Oh, it's a party. Hello. The more the merrier. You all want me. I should have some say.
I don't disagree.
There's too much happening to let you have a say in this.
That's your loom.
And it's breaking.
And you're the only one who can help us fix it.
La-di-da.
La-di-da-di. Who likes to party?
So I built all of this. Or I did. Well, or I will, and I did?
A version of you.
I don't understand. We've adjusted everything we can adjust.
Victor,
Well,
this is Casey and OB.
O.B.?
Ouroboros.
You wrote the TVA handbook.
Well, yes, I did. But I learned everything I know from a brilliant 19th century inventor named Victor Timely. If we had the resources, he would have been bigger than Einstein.
Yeah, that's you. That's you.
So if your work is based on his work and his work is based on your work,
Exactly which
Yeah,
came
it's a
first.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Eating its own tail.
Your name, Ouroboros.
Guys, sorry to break up this romance, but can we
So they-
fix now and
Who actually
sign
wrote
later?
it? Neither of you?
Here's a model I mocked up of the loom. We give it a shoddy and slapdash work. It's not to
That
scale.
looks super good. What do you mean?
I'm honestly embarrassed that Victor is here to see it.
Okay, I think you're being a little hard on yourself, Obi. It looks great.
all right.
Does look great.
What's the plan?
It's simple. One of us will have to take our throughput multiplier down the gangway, load the throughput multiplier into the launcher, and launch it towards the loom. It will dock with the loom, where it will scale the loom's capacity to manage the backlog of branches that was created when someone killed He Who Remains.
Someone.
There's one gigantic problem. There's much, much more temporal radiation out here than there was when you went out there, Mobius.
So much more. More.
Yes.
Yeah, no bueno.
Okay, well, I mean, Loki's really gonna have to hoof it then, right?
Wait a second, why is it suddenly me having to have it?
Well, because it's your turn.
Yeah, he went last time.
Our throughput multiplier does not yet work.
Why?
Doesn't work.
Wait, let me guess. The loom's temporal decay outpaces the multiplier's throughput capabilities.
Can you make multiple throughputs and shoot them all?
All right, let's have a little pie while we wait.
Pie.
Yeah.
What is the matter with you?
What, he likes pie.
Everything is turning to shit. And you want to leave it to them while we go and have some pie.
Well, what are we gonna do?
Doesn't matter that the branches are dying. Clocks don't tick at the TVA, do they? You found out you're a variant.
I mean, she's right, but she also
when
kind
you
of
heard it
caused
was
this
in
whole
York
thing.
Company. It's just another bad day at the office for you. Timelines are just lines on a monitor. You've never bothered to look if one of them was yours. Who cares if a few just disappear?
That's a good point.
I don't want to die in here.
Oh, really? Well, it seemed like you gave up when you sold out our plan.
He found a better option.
I didn't know you knew that.
Oh, yes. We all know about your escapades as an actor, Brad.
He was having a good time. You can't blame him.
I earned my life. Don't you think you earned your life?
No!
What if her life sucked? Like, what if being part of the TVA is, like, legitimately way better than what her life was?
If we have to fight to defend this place, from Renslayer or worse, can we trust you?
No. Why would you ask her this question? Why would they want to fight to defend this place after you put them in prison?
He's just trying to see in the dark like the rest of us. And so we're clear. I asked for your help, and you walked away.
Just so we're clear, no, I didn't.
Yeah, you did, kinda.
You're only here because you couldn't kill him.
Yeah, I couldn't kill him. Couldn't do it.
Think about why that is.
Some years ago, my brother was banished from Asgard and sent to Earth. And when he came back, he was different. Changed somehow. I thought it was weakness. I mocked him. Said he'd gone soft.
Soft girl she killed.
Listen, Sylvie.
Nope.
You spared Timely's life.
That takes strength.
What if you're wrong? What if you are wrong to believe that this place can be any better?
Well, then he's wrong. But why not try?
Annihilating is easy. Raising things to the ground is easy. Trying to fix what's broken is hard. Hope is hard.
Facts. Facts, Loki.
You can't give people free will and then just walk away, Sylvie. That's not how it works. Now, for better or for worse, the timelines are free. It's up to us to protect them.
Yep.
It's up to us to do better than he who remains.
It's just the exact
Sounds like
exact proposition
whatever
that
we
He
do,
Who Remains gave them
We're
at the
playing
end.
God.
We are gods.
True facts. We keep forgetting about that, you know? They are gods. Oh, god dang it.
Anyone who joins me right here will have a life on the timeline if they want it.
He's going for that.
For the first time,
Is she gonna kill them?
I finally am seeing the bigger picture. Life in the timeline was that good, huh?
I mean, he was a movie star, so kinda. Oh my god.
How does it feel, knowing that all of us here would rather die than follow you out that door?
Damn, Miss Minutes is loving that. You can like hear like dripping noises. Ew.
Let's go, X5.
That is horrifying.
Oh, yes. Access denied.
Oh, and then you transition to that? Come on now. Do you want to talk to Coco? Is it good? Oh no! Damn, well at least he got to get some hot cocoa before he died.
What's wrong?
Timely's gone. Miss Minutes is back.
Docs and her team are dead.
What?
It's
Yep.
gotta be Renslayer. Is the multiplier ready?
Barely.
You're gonna talk when I say you can, and only then. And right now, you're gonna tell us where to find your device.
See about that.
And if you don't like what I have to tell you?
Then X5 here is gonna find a very thorough and incredibly painful way to kill you.
It's a very small box.
Ugh. That is so threatening when you know what that means.
Sylvie? You okay?
Yeah, just take that clock.
She's trying to slow us down.
Take the stairs.
This is the future that Loki teleported to and then got pruned in, isn't it? Oh, the phone ringing. He's got to prune himself. I knew it. I called this. Right when I saw it happen, I was like, what if it was himself?
There you are.
She's so like, what?
Hello?
About time. What's taking you guys so long?
Just OB?
Could take her offline if I reboot the system.
Yeah. Reboot the system.
But we'll lose the entire safety system.
What's the safety system?
The dampeners that prevent people from using magic at the TVA.
Oh, that's fine. They love that idea.
Turn it off!
They're like, that works great.
Someone's trying to reboot the system. I can't access it. I'm being locked out.
You deserve it.
Mocking just isn't necessary.
They're up to something.
You thought she was mocking his speech impediment.
You'll never be him.
Damn. You'll never be him. She meant that as an insult. Maybe it can mean a good thing. You'll never turn into that tyrant. You don't have to worry about it.
What do you say, X5?
You could see him.
Fancy a rematch?
That's so spooky.
This is cozy. Here for a second. Come here. Come here.
What is going on?
Is Sylvie in his brain?
Let's go. Now, let's go.
Damn. You can't put his hand in there? He's got to put his whole ass head in there?
Welcome, he who remains.
Welcome.
I'll do it. I'll put the suit on.
Wait! It should be me.
No, you don't have to do this.
Why should it be you?
Time to be brave.
Good luck.
Ready?
Excuse me? Damn, dude. Spaghetti immediately. You gotta go back in time and develop a suit that'll work. That's crazy, bro. What's happening? on, dude. Okay. What an ending. Holy cow. That episode had so many things that were intense. Okay, like, let's start off with, I don't even know. Let's start off, okay, we'll talk about Renslayer. So she, learns at the end of time, essentially, that Miss Minutes, or, well, no, scratch that. Miss Minutes teaches her that at one point Renslayer was the one who led He Who Remains' armies against everybody else. And I think they're referencing the multiversal war, you know, when he finally becomes He Who Remains. And she learns that she had not just a key role in it, but she was like his chief commander. And then he institutes Policy 42 or whatever it was called, where he like wipe all their memories. So then he just stays there. He just is He Who Remains at the end of time. And it's just him and Miss Minutes for eons while the TVA does its thing. And that would be an upsetting thing to hear, right? You know, I mean, she's been low-key doing that to how many people in the TVA constantly? Like, she's fully aware of a lot of bad things happening. She's taking away people's lives constantly. So for her to be like, oh, my memories in my life was taken away, how dare he? It's like, okay, villain getting mad at another villain. But now she's operating on the mentality of like, this man doesn't deserve to be in charge, or any version of him. It's gonna be me. Like, I had a position of power and it was taken from me. I'm taking it back. And then they pop in to General Dax and the rest of the TVA people that were pruning stuff, and they're like, join us or see what happens. And all of them are like, not thrilled with the proposition, and they materialize a box that just slowly crushes them, trash compactor style, into like a meat cube, which thankfully they didn't show us, but you could like hear like the sound of their dripping body fluids after, and it's like, oh my god, that's horrific. And then later when X5 uses that as a threat, he's like, it's a small box. It's like, oh my god, why would you say that? Like, that's the most horrific thing you could do to someone, is just slowly turn their body into a meat cube. Like, awful stuff. But yeah, like, her whole plan is to disrupt whatever Mobius and Loki are doing, and then take control of the TVA again. But then she gets pruned, which we know that when someone gets pruned, that they go essentially back to the end of time, but just, you know, not in the castle, but like out in the field somewhere. But now that what is it, Eliath, the monster, is gone, like, there's no one to eat them. So who knows what could happen? They might just go back to the castle, find all his technology, and teleport back. Like, just delayed her a couple hours. But yeah, her plan and her vendetta is very interesting. Other things that are interesting, this course of action, like the things that are currently happening, I called it a couple episodes ago when we initially saw Loki get pruned. I was like, I wonder if he pruned himself, and if there was another storyline like overlapping at the same time. And I was right. And it's the same general storyline, just later in the timeline. You know, as soon as we saw it that previous episode when he got pruned and we didn't see who was behind him, I was like, it's probably himself. Like, he pruned himself, and he did it because if he didn't prune himself, then all the things that he just did wouldn't happen. So he had to. And it's just very interesting that him and Sylvie are kind of like, I don't know, they're just so interesting. They have these heart-to-heart moments where they're talking about these philosophical things of like, should we be in charge? Like, are we the ones that should be doing this? Should we be interfering at all? And Loki's like, you gave them free will. Like, you can't just give people free will and then just walk away, right? You know that bad things are going to happen along with the good things. And he's like, I'm not saying we like completely control everything, but like we can step in every once in a while to like make sure some truly horrific things don't happen and make sure that everything remains moderately functioning. And she's like, we're not gods, or like, that's the work of gods. And it's like, we are gods. Like literally, we're Norse gods. Like, that's what we do. And so they're just very interesting, but then, yeah, she comes around, but then it doesn't work anyway. Like, they bring Timely to the TVA, and him and OB's interactions are super fun. But they're, like, working to get this machine going. Meanwhile, everything's being, like, sabotaged by each side. Timely didn't even get to taste the hot chocolate, right? He sees Mobius, he's like, I want that. And he goes and he gets it, but then he gives it to the other guard who gets to taste hot chocolate for the first time, and he immediately dies. Well, he doesn't die. He gets pruned to the end of the world. At least he got some hot chocolate before it, but then Victor doesn't even get any. And I was curious last time. I'm like, is this an act? Will he, turn on them? What will he do? And he's being confronted a lot of the times of like imagery of himself, but like a different version of himself. And he's like, what? And is that who I'm gonna become? Is that who I was? And then hearing that this is like a horrible person, and Miss Minutes being like, you'll never be him. She meant that as an insult because she sees him as this great individual. Meanwhile, everyone else sees him as a villain. And so maybe that's a little reassurance of like, I'm not gonna be him. Like, not gonna be that guy. And then like, he longs to be important. He wants to save the TVA, and at the end he puts on the suit and he's like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna save the world, and he immediately turns into spaghetti. Like, gone instantaneously, which is horrifying. Like, good thing Loki didn't go out there. Like, that's bad news bears. And they're all just standing there in shock. And then the timeline literally explodes. Like, it looked like a regular explosion, but also at the same time it looked like almost like a black hole explosion because things were getting sucked into it. Like, timelines looked like they were getting sucked in. And then it just ends on that cliffhanger. And it's like, what the frick, guys? Like, what are you doing? You can't just end it like that. Come on now. So we're going to be on our toes. We're going to be on our toes till next week. I think, is there 6 episodes in this season or 8 episodes? I don't know. Because if there's 6, the next episode's the finale. But if there's 8, then we got a couple episodes left. So, I don't know. I'm going to Google that real quick. Wait, this was only episode 4. So, we got 2 episodes left. If there's 6. So, and I think based on what the internet is telling me, there is only 6 episodes this season, which is annoying. I want Disney and Marvel and Star Wars to go back to making, I mean, at minimum, make 13 episode seasons. Like, air 'em weekly, make 13 episodes, and be good. Like, that's 13 weeks out of the year that you got your name in the headlines. Perfect. Like, thank God for the writer's strike, because now, because of that, well, not completely because of it, but in no small part because of it, Disney is moving away from the 6 episode structure, and there's been headlines lately that Marvel's going to be reevaluating how they do television, and they're going to treat it more like actual television and not like limited series events, if that makes sense. And I'm happy about that in general. Like, I don't necessarily want to go back to like 22, 24 episode seasons, because oftentimes when that happens, there can be significant amounts of filler. Like there's whole episodes that don't really mean much at all to the plot. I mean, they have like, they contribute to character development and like the relationships in the show, but they don't like move the plot forward at all. They don't really matter much in the grand scheme of things. One show that like got around that really well is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where, was it season 4 and beyond, they broke up. I think season 4 had 24 episodes, I think. And they broke it up into like 3 separate pods. So they had like an 8 episode pod focused on this type of thing, and then another 8 episodes focused on this, and then 8 episodes to close it out. And that worked really well because you had these self-contained 8 episode stories, but then they also contributed to the large story of the season overall. That was super good. I liked that a lot. And then you also have like the lower end, where you have like these 10 episode, 13 episode shows on Netflix. When Netflix started making like original shows and putting original shows out and being like, this is the future of television, they were like 13 episodes and it was perfect. Like it worked great. And then now as they put more, like every one of these studios puts more and more money into each of these shows, they're like, okay, we're not gonna put this money in for 13, 15 episodes. We're gonna give you 6 to 8 episodes and you tell your story. But now we're seeing a whole bunch of shows that can't tell their story in a satisfying way in only 6 to 8 episodes. Like some of the complaints from, say, The Wheel of Time or Rings of Power that I've seen is if they had an extra episode or two, like probably an extra 2 episodes to breathe, just like let some of these storylines flow a little bit more naturally, things would work so much better, and you could toss in some extra stuff that you weren't able to adapt. That would work really well. Probably like the biggest complaint. Okay, this is one thing. I don't know how studios didn't learn from this, where the final season of Game of Thrones, or the final 2 seasons of Game of Thrones really, were like 7 and 5 episodes. Like, how do you do that when you have the previous 6 to 7 seasons of this show going 10 episodes each, and then you cut the last 2 seasons by 5 whole episodes? I think they thought that people were upset about the things that happened. Like they were upset, like, oh, Danny, turned bad and like went crazy and all. Like I think HBO saw it and they were like, oh, people are upset about the actual things that happened in the episode. That's not necessarily what people were upset about. People were upset about how fast it happened. And it happened so fast because you didn't give them enough time. Right? Like the creators, George R.R. Martin was like, this should go probably 10 seasons. 9 if you really want to, be judicial and kind of cut some stuff, right? And instead, the show creators were like, ooh, we got to deal with Star Wars. We're getting the fuck out of here as soon as possible. And so they cut their previous 2 seasons by so much that everything felt so rushed and not satisfying, and it was a disaster. And shows, like studios and shows, just haven't learned from that really. They're like, oh yeah, we're still gonna keep putting out 6 episode seasons. Like Disney, they're like, yep, we're still gonna keep doing that. And Loki season 2, 6 episodes. Like you gotta move on. Like friggin' Secret Invasion, 6 episodes. Like you gotta stop. Again, don't go back to 24 episodes, but maybe like 10 to 15 or 16 is like the perfect place, and then air it weekly. Like, don't drop everything at once so people forget about it in a week. Like, keep putting episodes out weekly, 10 to 16 episodes, and you're golden. Like, you're prime, brother. I don't think you understand just how well your shows will do if you do that. That's how Game of Thrones became a cultural mainstay in the first place. Like, because people tuned in weekly at the same time every night to watch it. Like, the studios just don't get it. But now that the writer's strike is over and they're having to implement a lot of changes to how they're writing these shows and the people that they can have in the rooms and all these different provisions put in place for writers, I think it's going to cause a healthy change to how a lot of these shows are produced and made and aired specifically. And then when the actors strike eventually ends, hopefully that has good things going forward as well. And then we'll see some like meaningful change in how a lot of these shows come out, and it's just going to lead to better and better content, and it's incredible. Like, people that are sick of like these cookie cutter Marvel shows or Disney Star Wars shows or whatever, if you want things to be good, like, you should be pleased with the writer's strike and actor's strike right now. Like, you, as long as it takes to get a good deal, that's going to provide excellent news in the future for the things you want to watch. It's going to be great. But now that I went on this whole tangent, I've confirmed there are 6 episodes in this season. This was episode 4. There are 2 episodes left, which is crazy. Like, it feels so short. But yeah, I don't know. It was a good episode. I liked it a lot. I'm very pleased with this episode, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Definitely let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. I would love to hear all your thoughts and opinions. If you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me, helps my channel grow. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then again, if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider checking out my Patreon or YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.